This is part 2 of the Hoover Smartwash refurb. Can it be saved? So, as we found out in part 1, we had some, bearings that were in pretty bad shape. So one bearing right here did spin, but it wasn't all that great. So I just did some silicone spray on it because it had the metal end caps and I couldn't actually extract the bearing. So it's really about all I could do. This isn't going to last that long. It is not bearing grease, but sometimes you got to do what you can do. And I found out that the actual bearings, this is one I did something else to, are $17 a piece. And that is eBay. It's the cheapest I could find them. I'm not going to spend $17 for a bearing that honestly should cost like $1. It's not going to happen. So this bearing is weird because, and I know you're not going to be able to see it because it's full of that stuff. This has rubber caps on both sides. This was totally, utterly locked up. I mean, there was hair and rust, and it didn't move at all, didn't spin whatsoever. So my procedure was use WD-40. Now that's a penetrant, it's not a lubricant. Okay, a lot of people use it as a lubricant, and yeah, it'll last for a few seconds, and then it just kind of disappears because it's water-based. So clean everything out, get it going again, break it free with WD-40. Then I use some type of degreaser. You could use brake clean, which is more expensive. I just use this, right? Wash it out. That's right, wash your bearing out. And then make sure it's completely dry. Totally, utterly dry. Nothing left in there for moisture. Then go ahead and pack both sides with this. And this right here is in pretty good shape. It's not bad. So we'll put that on there. Bottom line is these two, oh yeah, and I went ahead and cleaned the bristles. And these spin very, very nicely and they don't make any noise. Great. So on to the clog problem here. So I just kind of fiddled around with it. You saw me go and pick some stuff out, and the bottom line is I just couldn't really figure out where the clog was. I checked here, I checked here, I checked here. Yeah, it had a little bit of goo in it, but nothing was completely sealing everything. So to make a long story short, what I did was I turned the machine on and I just kind of, poked my fingers in here just to see if anything was moving or there was a glob, maybe a hair, kind of like a horsetail or something full of junk. I couldn't really feel anything. And then I happened to tip it over just to check a few other things back here, and I heard ptsh, and I went, the suction relief valve finally actually popped. Wonderful. So actually I just shook it a little bit. I kind of, fiddled, and then some pieces bigger than those popped into the recovery bin. Something maybe like quarter size. And then I heard magic. So all of a sudden, after I heard shh. So I fiddled around a little bit. I opened this up and I'm like, wait a minute. I now have some airflow. And then I closed that and I went down here and I said shh, and I now had some airflow. And bottom line is I went ahead and put my hand over this and I was able to feel pressure, the suction that you would normally get in order to pick up water, and also some additional airflow. And then of course, this is closer to the motor. I put my hand over this and it was shh, and I was like, that's wonderful. All right, let's see if I can show you that. So, yeah, I know it was loud. Okay, next. Yep, we got suction, baby. So we should be in great shape to go and pick up some water. So I got some water in the supply tank, and let me reset up the camera, and hopefully you can see this thing actually suctioning up water now. one other thing I want to go over before we close out this video. So hopefully I won't forget. All right, moment of truth. Will it put down and pick up water? Yeah, there it goes. How about this, for dramatic effect? How about we put down more water? Let's see what it really does. Now put it on dry only. Okay, dry only. Yep. There it is. Okay, so it is working. It probably isn't as good as it should be, but it's definitely picking up. So when I hit the dry only button that's up there, you saw a whole bunch come up real quick. So that's great. All right, now let me show you the hilarity that I figured out right after I made part one. If you remember from part one, this is the exhaust. If I turn it on right now, there's a whole bunch of exhaust air that comes out. And then it heats up. Well, it's supposed to, heat up the carpet to help it dry faster. Well, the thing is it heats this piece of plastic up as well. And that's not foil. That is the finish that is, overheating and, well, sloughing off. So yeah, that's what that is. For some reason I thought it was like a protectant foil, which is probably a good idea, but they didn't do that. So the finish is just coming off. That's it. It won't hurt anything, but I think what happened is, the previous owner clogged this machine and then continued to use it. Brush roll bearing jammed up, continued to use it, and they just continued to use it until literally it was almost ready to catch fire. And you can see more evidence. Let's see, which side was that on? You can see more evidence of that. Let's see, where? Right here. There, see that finish coming off? That's not actually dirt. It'd be nice if we got a good focus here. Focus. All right, well, there. Yeah, that's finish coming off right there. So I thought maybe that was dirt, because after all, it was extremely dirty. And right here, look at this. The finish has completely come off here, and it's just poor quality / overheating. Well, down here I think is probably overheating. I don't know how this would overheat here, but then again, this is where the motor's located, and it's possible that when you run this and it's in near clog mode, that it heats up this edge, and I guess looks like it heats up this edge as well. But in either case, yeah, that's the finish coming off. So it won't hurt anything, but it'll take it down to bare plastic. So anyway, yes, we do have a machine that when last I looked it up, list price on it was about $270. I realize you can get sale prices on it now, and it's a few years old, but this machine is ready to go. And the total amount I spent on this is, well, of course, time and some goo. There's always some goo. And that's it. So no parts. The hose that is supposed to fit in here, the original owner said it broke, which of course that means that they probably broke it. But in any case, there's a working floor washer. It will ride the carpets once again. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more. Some of Thomas's soap from earlier.